What's going on, guys? Today on this Power Rangers review, we're going to take a look at the exclusive limited edition Bandai Power Rangers. It's Red Ranger, guys. And this is the new version. So this is the Legacy Collector Red Ranger, and it is the new metallic-y looking one with the specific awesome new Red Ranger Power Sword. So that's awesome. Little known fact, when there was an early review that never got published, never got anything, that actually my buddy Nick did, and it was over the San Diego Comic-Con Metallic Red Ranger. And it really didn't work out, so we didn't actually end up publishing it or making it anything. But, you know, this will be the first of the actual figures I'm looking at. He actually did that review, so let's take a look at the box. You've got the Saban's Power Rangers logo up here. I don't know why they did it in silver, because right down here, they did it in the normal thing. So I don't know it. So, of course, it says Legacy Red Ranger there, limited edition there, image of Red Ranger here. Of course, it's not a specific Red Ranger, so they don't say that it's Jason or Rocky. It's just a Red Ranger. So, looks pretty cool. You get the accessories here. You have them in the really awkward pose. I mean, it makes it look like his ankles and his wrists are just totally jacked up. It's like they just needed to add a little bit more in here to give it some room to function. So, I really do like it. They got the lightning going on everywhere. Come over here. There's a whole lot of nothing. Come back here. You see all 5 of the normal Rangers, and I do believe they're all in metallic form. I got this guy at Walgreens, and I went to legitimately like 7 Walgreens that day. This is the only one of this version there was. I did find Yellow Rangers, but not the metallic version. It was just the normal Yellow Ranger, and there's a few White Rangers bouncing around too. I may pick him up. We'll see. But yeah, collect them all if you can. I know there's a lot of people who definitely are grabbing them everywhere they can. And the cool thing about these is they're all coming with their specific weapons, which they did not before. So you got Made in China, Saban, blah, 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 blah. Come over here. You got an extra window. Come to the top. You've got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And if we go to the bottom, there's just stuff and things. So let's go ahead and get them out of this package and see if it's actually pretty cool or not. How about now? All right. Alright guys, so here we have the Red Ranger out of his packaging, and actually looking pretty decent. It's got a nice little kind of metallic sheen going on. It isn't paint, it's actually molded in that nice metallic plastic, which you know can be a little bit troublesome, especially in the joints, but nothing on here is super tight, so I wouldn't be very worried about it. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at his accessories, and then we'll talk about the figure, because I feel there's a lot of issues with this. Okay, so you get the nice soft plastic holster that goes on the hip right there. So if I want to just go ahead and plug it in like so. They all come with this because they all come with their little blade blasters, which is in the shape of a banana, because that's how bad the clamshell is. Now, given a little bit of hot water, probably could straighten this guy out. But it does come with at least okay molding. Would be good if it had a little bit more silver, so it needs silver down here on the little teeth. And right on here, maybe highlight the fact that there's a dinosaur head right there. But decent silver here, white there. Of course, they all had these. And it does just plug in like so into the thing. And he could technically hold it, I believe, except, you know, it's in blade mode, but it doesn't have the blade flipped out, so that's kind of stupid. This seems to be a weapon that he's not really meant to ever do anything with, because I can't even get it into his hand. Okay, barely get it into his hand, and it looks like he's kind of holding a banana, honestly. So that's a holster weapon is what that is, and I just it's like I dropped it. It's like, hold on to it. By the way, it's raining. If you can hear that in the background, it's going to be kind of a rainy, ugly day here. So that's that. Now he does come with, of course, the main accessory that matters for this, and it is the awesome Red Ranger's Power Sword. And this actually got all the attention, obviously, because they did all of the paint work. They got all of the nice molded detail on there. They even got the coin molded in. That looks really good. Nice gold paint. The blue little crystals, although on the Legacy sword, they're green. So they went blue here, green on the other thing. They got the same kind of molded detail in the blade, and the blade is a super soft plastic. Personally, I would like it to be a bit more rigid. I get why it's not. It's a toy for kids. They want to make sure that nobody's going to really hurt themselves with it. Hey, when I was a kid, we had toys that had nice pointy blades on them, and they were solid for the most part, and most people didn't get hurt. But kids nowadays, I guess, need to have more security. I don't know. But everything about it is softer and wigglier, so this could definitely end up getting deformed and stuff like that, and he can totally hold it if you can actually get it into his hand. Which, given that the weapon itself is softer than the hand it's going into, makes it slightly difficult. And then there's that happens too. That little ball joint on the wrist pops out. It's probably just a hair short, but it actually does look pretty good with Mr. Red Ranger here. Like I said, we don't know exactly which Red Ranger it is, but it doesn't really matter. I don't know that it can go into this hand. This hand is more of a fist. It's open to a degree, but not the same as the right hand is. So we'll get a nice dynamic pose set up here. Hopefully, we'll see. Might not. I think this guy, they should have given them some expressive hands. I think, you know, with the fact that they come off, they can interchange pretty easily. They should have given them some nice expressive hands. But that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll use that as the thumbnail. Alright. Alright, so with accessories out of the way, let's go ahead and look at the actual figure, because these have been around for quite some time now, at least a couple years. And realistically, the mold hasn't really changed for anything. If I remember correctly, pretty much all of the male Rangers all are the exact same mold, with the exception of the head. And the female Rangers usually just have a little bit more going on here. And, of course, Pink Ranger has a skirt. But other than that, they do look the way they should. You've got your color matching. Although it doesn't make sense is they give you this nice plastic metallic color here, but then give you this normal red on the cuffs of the boots and the gauntlets or gloves or whatever. That didn't make a whole lot of sense. The head looks really nice. Got some nice molded detail. You've got the eyes molded in there. You got the silver paint around the teeth, stuff like that. So the actual T-Rex head on the Ranger does look very nice. Very good indeed. Gotta like that. Yeah. I mean, other than that, it's a red and white Ranger. The Morpher looks phenomenal. More phenomenal, even. Nice silver, gold, and red paint, along with some black paint around there. I do know, at least from watching MMPR Toys, there was definitely some issues with what color the Morpher was going to be versus what color the belt was and stuff like that, all on the original set. And apparently it was very inconsistent. But apparently now with this new line, they're getting it all the same. White belts, black Morpher holder, silver Morpher, all that all seems to be consistent apparently now. But this is the only one I've got in my collection, obviously, so it is what it is. But nice white painted belt goes all the way around the booty. Or body, whatever. Yeah, I mean, the translucent plastic, you're not going to see it as well on camera. Well, maybe you do. You can actually see some of the inner workings and stuff like that. You can actually see some of the inner frame right here on the torso and stuff like that. That's not too bad, I guess. But let's go ahead and do articulation, since this thing is incredibly articulate, but also that's where it gets weird. So the head is on a ball joint up here, so whenever you rotate it, it's pretty good, and it's got a nice little cutout for looking down, very much so, and looking straight up. You can't like look up, but it can do left and right really nicely. So hey, what's that over there? All right. Shoulders, got a nice little disc hinge right here, probably a ball joint going into the actual thing. It comes up to about 90. The entire arm doesn't, but the shoulder does. Can go all the way around, as you should. Now, this is where the cutouts start getting weird. You do get a bicep rotation, but you can see it's cut out around the musculature. So he can do that, and that gives you pretty much your 90 degree if you use your imagination, honestly. But you can rotate all the way around. Not that you should, but you totally can. You do get a double jointed elbow, though it's so tight you barely get a little over 90 degrees with that. So we're not really getting a high teacher so much there, because the shoulder is really limited. But it's also not a Gundam, so that's okay. It is what it is. I'll definitely be wary of the translucent plastics for that. Now, here's where things get a little awkward. I love forearm rotation on my robots. It's an awkward thing on a human because this is molded exactly to be the shape of a arm, and also you get the actual shape of the, the outfit. And that's where it gets a little weird, because the cutout, it's not terrible on this, but you get to like here and you start getting awkwardness. Plus, it really starts looking funky and distorted a little bit the further you get down. As we saw earlier, the hand is on a ball joint down here, a little disc hinge right here for the wrist, so you can flip it, flop it, rotate it, do whatever you gotta do. T-Rex arm. Hold on, do them both. T-Rex arms, Yeah, rawr. I'm a T-Rex. Yeah. Now, you do get some phenomenal... I'm using phenomenal in this review instead of amazing. You get some very nice torso articulation, some nice ab crunch, or upper body crunch, except that's where that obviously gets weird, so they really want you to keep him round about there. Don't move it from that position, because then you lose your triangle. I'm a T-Rex. Or I'm trying to ride an imaginary motorcycle. You do get waist swivel, though that really gets weird when you go all the way around, like so. And now he's a T-Rex. He's backwards. I'm a T-Rex. I'm just going to keep doing that at every single point. Come down to the legs, and we're about to get awkward. By the way, that comes off fairly easy. So the T-mounted hips give you about to there, and that's about as good as your Jean-Claude's going to get. Not terrible, honestly. Okay, so we get to the awkward thigh cutout because legs. I get why they did it this way, but when you do the actual thigh rotation, it starts looking weird because your thighs shouldn't do this. You could turn both thighs in, and we can sort of try to get a pee-pee dance, I guess. I don't know. Come down here, you get your double jointed knees. Let's get you a nice reverse kick. He can kick forward about that far. I wish it maybe had a little bit more cutout so you can get a little higher there. That's far forward is going to get. Of course, backwards is going to be even more limited by the butt. It is what it is. They should have cut this part out and made it into the part of the hip so your butt rotated with it. So it is what it is. And let's talk about the awkward bendy leg in the room. The legs do not straighten out below the knees. They're actually incredibly awkward and very bowed. Personally, they should come same shape, but straight down. And try as I can, I don't believe that this is an issue. Like in some cases, maybe they got the legs backwards, everything below the. No, this is just how it's molded. And the way that the shins can rotate makes it even weirder. So you can do that, so now your shin is completely twisted sideways from your knee, and he absolutely has a broken leg. I think there was no reason to have this. The thigh rotation would have been perfectly fine. But if you line everything up from top to bottom, so you got your thigh line all the way straight down your knee line, all the way down, your legs just start going really sideways. Like, you have to rotate the calf a little bit to get the feet pointed in the right direction, because you can see there, the feet aren't quite happy. I mean, it's just, I mean, the feet might be backwards. Hold on. No, they're right. Yeah, feet are correct. It's just, that's how your Red Ranger's going to stand. With his feet coming together. So, I mean, if you wanted a kind of a power stance, he's got to be out like this. You can use a little bit of the ankle rocking. And it's just awkward. Now, I would guess that some of it could be a little bit of mold degradation, because this is a little bit soft. I can straighten that out a little bit. That looks a little bit better. But the way, like I was talking about, it looks so strange when it's in package, because everything is bent and twisted. So maybe these, you know, the shins and the lower, anything below the knee needs to be dunked in some hot water and maybe straightened out a little. Because you can look, the ankle turns inward. If I line up the mold, this all turns inward on itself. That's not what your legs do, ladies and gentlemen. If they do, perhaps you need to go get some orthopedic surgery, because this ankle specifically is way worse. Now, just talking articulation, obviously the shin rotates all the way around. Not that your body can do that or that it should. You also get a disc hinge with some ratchets that are so loose that they don't matter right here, because you can see that is completely split open. That's pointless. This one's better. I will say that. This one is definitely better. The molded part of the boot, sure, that's fine. Now you have, this is actually coming apart on me now that I'm looking at it. You have what I assume is a ball joint. Yep, I can see it right there. There's definitely a ball joint going down into the foot. But look, this is completely coming apart and loose. So this foot is actually just a wreck. I mean, Bandai needs to deal with this crap. I'm sorry. This whole foot and shin being twisted like that is ridiculous. Look, line up your mold lines. So the center of the part right below the knee, and you follow the shin all the way down. Leave the feet, and that's what you get. That's ridiculous, Bandai. I mean, you can try to force them to straighten them out a little bit. I mean, actually, if I put the thighs perfectly, like, straight up and down, which, by the way, the thighs are not even equal. You can see that right there. The thighs are not even equal to each other. Just, what's going on here? Like, that's if you straighten out everything. This is what happens. I mean, the arms are only slightly awkward. They're only a little bit weird. You can work with the arms to make them okay. The legs on this thing are atrocious. And for a $20 collectible figure, especially a limited edition, quote unquote, it's kind of not on par with other things, in my opinion. I mean, I've only been exposed to these twice, and this is just horrendous. I mean, he does look like he's been in a terrible accident. This is no joke. That's not me messing with it. I've been on camera the whole time with this. That's what happens. So, I mean, if you want to collect them and you want to leave them in the packaging, that's fine. If you're planning on playing with it, or if you're planning on letting your kid have at it, whatever, I think that you need to get something else. Of course, then there's other versions like Figuarts and stuff like that are definitely better. But yeah, this probably has quite a bit of mold degradation at this point, if I had to guess, because you can look at the back of the knee right here and see how curved that is. That's probably meant to be, I don't know, straight, like so, which would make a heck of a lot of sense. And the fact that this is made out of translucent plastic, look how much movement. There shouldn't be that much movement in this. I'm sorry. If you straighten out the leg, or if you straighten out the right leg, that actually isn't bad. That's not terrible if it's actually straightened out. Left leg, you're still going to have to compete with the bent shin and ankle area. That's bad. That's really, really bad, Bandai. And in fact, like I said up here, look, the thighs aren't equal. They don't even sit close to each other. I don't think the cutout is even the same on each side. But, I mean, it's a cool looking figure. The posability is weird at best. I mean, the fact that you get the cool new weapons, yay for that. However, they don't even combine into the Power Blaster. So we're losing out on that. as it is. So, I mean, I'm probably not going to pursue these, realistically. I might actually end up putting this one up for sale for anybody who really wants it. Just in the Power Rangers groups, honestly. But I wanted to take a look at it because I wanted to be really exposed to it. Stuff like that. Because the Legacy line is really cool. But I do believe that at this juncture, these particular molds are really kind of failing. They need a reworking. Like, you can just see this is like Jello. This is not $20 figure. This is like $5 figure Jello going on here. It's just not solid. It doesn't line up. It's distorted. It's bad. I mean, part of me wonders if they got these bits switched and then like the thighs or the shins are okay. The rest of it is what's jacked up. So I'm probably going to go ahead and, that looks weird. I'm going to go ahead and probably put him back in the packaging and leave him there, realistically. Because unless you've got him in a cool pose, you're not ever going to get him to look decent, in my opinion. And the last one, like Nick brought over, I think that was probably a better. That was even older. You know, it was older, but it was, you know, it's probably slightly less mold degradation. The fact that you get a banana gun is really bad, and that's not a Doctor Who reference. But, you know, just that's what it is, guys. But, you know, go check out all my other Power Rangers Legacy reviews if you haven't seen them for some reason. And, you know, the Zords, totally different story than the figures. The weapons, totally different story. But it is what it is. If you guys like them, by all means, get them. This is probably the last one I'm going to end up buying unless there's something really special on the horizon. But I'll catch you guys on the next review. Of course, I want to thank my patrons, Andy, John, Steve. You guys are awesome. This is probably the first review, honestly, that I'm actually saying welcome, Steve. So, guys, we got a new patron. He is awesome. I'll catch you guys later. Remember, as always, keep on nerding.